Bugs crashing your pack's party? Whether they've got paws or sneakers, your pack deserves a home that's protected from pests. That's where Wondercide comes in. Plant-powered protection made with steam-distilled natural essential oils that actually work. It kills and repels fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, and ants without questionable ingredients or overpowering smells. Safe to use around kids and pets when used as directed, lab-proven to work fast, and proudly made in the USA. We offer sprays for pets, people, homes, and yards. Plus, spot-on treatments, collars, and even shampoos. Whatever your pack needs, we've got it covered. Founded by a pet parent looking for a better way to protect her dog Luna, Wondercide's now protected over 21 million lives and counting. You might have even seen us on Shark Tank. Go to Wondercide.com and use code WONDER20 for 20% off your first order. That's WONDER20 at Wondercide.com. Wondercide. Protect your pack with plant-powered Wondercide today.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
We're in Way Media. Welcome back, Midnight viewers, to Anthologies Attack, where we examine anthologies of every media and genre. And with me, my co-host, back from his shoot on location on the Arborian moon, Mr. Antonio LLapur.
Gordon's alive? Hey, Father Malone, how are you today?
I am well, sir, and happy to be talking about another anthology that's lighter-hearted.
Yeah, after all that Coen Brothers heavy-handedness, and you think you go into a Coen Brothers picture and you're like, oh, it's going to be fun. And then you go like, oh no, this movie's about dead people and sadness. God bless him. But yes, I am excited to talk about the king of comedy himself, the hero to Gen Xers everywhere, the one and only Mel Brooks, war hero and Oscar winner, Mel Brooks.
Yes, indeed. And that picture is History of the World Part 1, written, produced, and directed by Mr. Mel Brooks, starring Mel Brooks, also starring Dom DeLuise, Madeline Kahn, Harvey Korman, Cloris Leachman, Gregory Hines, and Pamela Stevenson, with narration by Orson Welles. The film was released on June the 12th, 1981. The plot is a series of vignettes, basically chronicling from the Stone Age up until the French Revolution, with some previews of what the future has to hold.
From the naked dawn of man to the magnificence of the Bible.
The Lord Jehovah has given unto you these 10 commandments.
From the glory that was Rome to the dark evils of the Spanish Inquisition.
For now begins the Inquisition!
To the French Revolution with its squalor and its splendor.
The peasants may grow violent.
They are my people. I am their sovereign. I love them. Pull!
History of the World, Part 1, starring...
It's good to be the king.
More women! More wine! More!
And submit to the king. Lust the one.
Others let off!
Chip, you're beautiful.
Shove it. Let's end this meeting on a high note.
Hey, what country you from?
Ethiopia.
What part?
On 25th Street. Oh.
I'm Miriam. I'm a Vestal Virgin.
I'm really sorry to hear that.
Should have been here over 30 grains ago.
Please ravish me.
Gee, I just ate.
Drama.
Do you require a blindfold?
None.
Have you any last words?
None.
Test the guillotine. Holy
Action.
Where you going? I don't know.
Romance.
Say when?
8:30.
Spectacle.
The Inquisition. What a show. We know you're wishing that we'd go away. But the Inquisition's here and it's here to stay.
Mel Brooks, History of the World, Part 1. 10 million years in the making.
Antonio, where did you first see this movie? What are your memories of this movie?
I saw this pretty much like 98% of everybody from the age of 40 to 50 something. I first saw this movie on HBO, probably after school with my buddies Chris Smith and Mike Smith at their grandma's house. It was on HBO constantly, and it was on the Superstation constantly. Those were the two, and of course the HBO version being much better. Yeah, and I saw it a zillion times growing up.
I had the exact same experience.
Yeah.
I already loved Mel Brooks. I had seen, by the time History of the World Part 1 hit HBO, I know that I had seen Young Frankenstein in the theater. I don't think on the initial run. I think I was one when the movie initially came out, but they did back in the day, if you remember, they would re-release movies from time to time. And on one of those re-releases, I got to see Young Frankenstein. So I knew who Mel Brooks was. And he was always all over television and talk shows and stuff. I was definitely looking forward to watching this movie. And yeah, it was on 1 billion times. You couldn't get away from the movie.
I'm betting my first exposure to him was probably Spaceballs for my age. Yeah, 10 or whatever I was when that came out. But maybe this Young Frankenstein, I don't think I saw until I was like 13 or 14, but before we go on, Young Frankenstein is his master. Young Frankenstein is not only one of the funniest movies ever made. I think Young Frankenstein is one of the finest movies ever made. It is a flawless, perfect film that is not only about making you laugh, but it's about Hollywood itself. It's about Hollywood history. It's about literature. It's about a lot of things, that movie. And there's a reason why it's always on the AFI lists. There's a reason why it continues to be in the discussion to this day as a great movie. Everybody talks about Blazing Saddles. Blazing Saddles is one of the pound for pound funniest things ever made. And it's part of the conversation today because you couldn't make it today. Of course you can make it today, but the studio guy would just say, we already made that movie. No, but you can make it today. I don't think it is as taboo as people try to let on it is. And also remember, Blazing Saddles punches up, not down. So I think it would still play, with the exception of a couple things. And The Producers is his other master. The Producers is just piss funny. It's so good that I still haven't seen the musical and I'm like, why? Why do I need to see Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick when I've got zero freaking nostalgia? And Gene Wilder being amazing. And I'm a huge Nathan Lane fan. I think Nathan Lane is the funniest guys ever made. But that original movie, when I saw that at 16, I was pissing myself.
It is a masterpiece. And I was a projectionist at a movie theater that was showing the producers the remake, the musical remake. And I've seen about 30 seconds of it. It played for a couple of weeks at least, but I could not bear to watch more than a few frames of it. It's just so Antonio, I'm not the kind of guy who says things should not be remade. Go for it. What's your take on the material? I'm dying to see it. But there's something inherently sad about Mel Brooks recycling his material and turning it into comedy. God bless him. He turned it into this whole second life, third life, fifth life of his career. But I don't. You wouldn't remake Citizen Kane.
Yeah, exactly. Now, I don't have a problem with him doing remakes of his music as his stuff as Broadway musicals, but I like that on the stage. There's no reason to make a movie version out of the stage musical. That's just, the movie's perfect. There's no reason to remake the movie. If you want to relive the movie as a stage experience, I'm not unopposed to that. I think it's a little out of hand. I don't know why the hell is there a Back to the Future music, but and a Beetlejuice
people
musical.
Know what Back to the Future is. That's
But the producers, I think, lends itself okay to a musical reinterpretation because it's a musical to begin with. So, okay, on the stage, it's cool. I would like to play, in that musical on stage as an actor. It's great. But as a movie, no. Why? The movie's flawless. And here's another thing, too. It's a pretty movie. The production value, the cinematography, the direction of the producers is high quality, pretty good movie making. I'm not even going to get into how good Young Frankenstein is. Young Frankenstein has that cinematography in it, which is just mind-blowingly beautiful. And all those original sets and stuff, it's just gorgeous. And Blazing Saddles is a good-looking movie, too. It's shot very traditionally, like an old Western. By the time we get to our movie, the production value isn't as nice. I feel like they're not spending the money on this movie that they were on some of his other pieces. Like we'll get to it, but for example, the Inquisition musical number. It's great, and there's a lot going on, but some of it just looks like they're clearly on a soundstage. It's not, maybe that's the intent. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he was. Brooks has never been afraid of showing the artifice back there.
Yeah.
Not only the Inquisition sequence, take the opening sequence of the Stone Age. That's just a fucking painted backdrop.
Yeah. So yeah, I guess to a certain degree, I guess he's not afraid of showing it, but like his work in the 70s it's so much more dynamic. And there's more care into the filmmaking and this one's a little.
You know what? I agree with you. But in those cases, other than the producers, because that was his own thing. But once he got into parody, he had a target he was aiming at. And so there was a style of filmmaking that he could ape in a way. And he's a very, very good mimic of those styles. But when it came to History of the World Part 1, what is he supposed to do here? He's left to his own devices, and each of these segments is so different than the previous.
If I had been, I'd be like, oh, I'm fine directing it. But if I had been directing it, my goal would have been, okay, I've got 9 vignettes or whatever, 5 or 6 vignettes in this movie. I am going to shoot each vignette like a period piece from that genre. So I wouldn't have stopped I would have shot the thing just like Kubrick for the opening. I would have looked at Barry Lyndon for the Revolution stuff, for the Napoleonic era. Like I would have really kind of gone out of the way, but that's who I am. He's just going to get the joke across. They're not spending the money. They're trying to get this thing out by June.
Yeah, it's not. Look, in some cases, I think the jokes aren't landing the way they used to, and he's cannibalizing himself a lot here. But it is also the matter of the budget. I think by 1981, it's crazy to think because he had such a fucking huge run during the 1970s that by 81, 3 or 4 years later, they're just going, yeah, you can have this much. You can have 10 million for this one. And he had received 10 million for the previous and the one before that.
And it's inflation.
Yeah. I'm not saying he was greedily seeking.
No, not at all. Is there a 6-7 year break between this and Spaceballs?
It's 4 years between High Anxiety, which didn't do as well as Silent Movie, which didn't do as well as Young Frankenstein, until History of the World Part 1. And then it is an additional 6 years till Spaceballs.
Yeah. But did this make money?
This did. It was a budget of 10 million. It pulled in 30. So you figure even if they spent the exact same amount on advertising, it still made $10 million.
Yeah, they probably spent 15 on advertising, 5 on advertising back then.
So that's a real big success. This is 1981.
That's what Star Wars, $10 million.
In 76.
In 76. Oh, wow. Empire Strikes Back cost like 50, so.
And they have a big space battle in this.
They sure do. And it's actually a pretty good space battle. I just watched it this afternoon again. I'm like, wow, that's actually pretty good. You definitely see space balls there.
Oh, yeah. I was young enough that when I saw the fake preview at the end of this movie that I thought it was serious.
Yeah. So did, and basically every other kid who watched it did. Did they include that? The sequelized serial?
I don't know because I watched maybe half an episode and decided I don't want to tarnish the image. I don't want to tarnish the image.
I did watch it.
Oh, okay.
I got through it. I remember I enjoyed it, but there was too much of it. It was just too much of it. Like, you're going to stretch out a 90-minute movie or a 100-minute movie into 6 or 7, 8, 9 half-hour episodes? Are you mad? And they would repeat the skits. So the skits would come back. Like, why are you redoing this skit? You could have just cut an episode. I feel like making it a streaming show sucks. And that, when they do that with a lot of these things and they make sequels out of old pictures and stuff, but it's a streaming show now. I'm like, yeah, but now you've got too much information. It's a comedy. You don't need that in a comedy. Comedies, you should be able to go back and rewatch 1,000 times and memorize. That's half the fun. And memorize the lines, quote them with your friends and stuff. I go around saying, it's good to be the king. Why? Because I've seen this movie a bunch of times and everybody knows that reference. You're not.
My feeling with that sequel series was that when you look back at the original film, as hack as some of the jokes are, as silly, or maybe some lines don't land, some do, all of that dialogue was written down by Mel Brooks, probably rewritten and then brought to the set where actors interpreted it. I got the feeling with that series that they're following the Apatow method of, we've got an idea here, and now let's just play. And we're getting the let's just play takes.
So I've, as the audience may have heard, I've directed a couple things, feature, a bunch of shorts, and we just did a 48-hour film fest a few months ago with our movie called Dead Listing. You can find it on YouTube. And I shot it in the Apatow. That's how I did it, because I had 3 hours to get a script together. And so my writing partner, we brought in another writer to help us out and produce it, and we got a script by the end of the night. And I just cast actors that I knew were fun, because the script I got was shit. Not shit. It was pretty good. It was well structured. The places, the things, the gags were in there, but the jokes weren't really there. And I relied on my actors that do it. And the couple of actors in it that are really funny really delivered. And the other folks are just more traditional, give me some lines and I'll read them actors, don't give you the same kind of performance. They all give great performances, but you get different levels because you got to have a trained comic to do these things. And I don't know anybody who's funnier than Mel Brooks in 1970 something. So I don't know. That being said, it was chaos to shoot like that. And you really got to have strong actors, and you've really got to spend your time in the editing. It's writing in reverse. I don't know. I'm a fan of doing both, to be honest with you. I want to go in there with a funny script and then have my funny actors make what I wrote funnier.
Oh, I'm not discounting the method. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, the jarring styles was just another kind of trigger for me to turn the damn thing off.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, because the folks in it were a lot of the actors in it were a lot of the improv tradition, a lot of groundlings in there, and a lot of Second City folks, and Ike Barinholtz, who's from Mad TV, who's a great improv guy, and Nick Kroll's another one who I think is hilarious, and I think his show is hilarious. But what's the show? Big Mouth. Funnier than shit, but Big Mouth suffers the same thing that the History of the World Part 2 suffered. Just too much of it, man. Like,
it ultimately comes down to judicious editing, I would think.
Yeah.
We don't need every joke, guys.
Brevity is the soul of wit, too. Like,
yeah, by comparison, History of the World Part 1 is 90 minutes.
And it's 90 minutes that are all pretty solid. Some of it's a little dated. I'm going to even give a disclaimer. They lean way heavy into the gay jokes in this one, more than in Blazing Saddles. And I can argue in Blazing Saddles, actually, they play better. Like, it's not as mean-spirited.
I'll tell you why. Because in Blazing Saddles, when people would level criticisms at Brooks, or say the Abrams Zucker guys, or even Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the answer is always, well, they're making fun of literally everyone. Like, everyone is a target. So you can't get upset when it's your group being attacked. And Blazing Saddles feels that way. It feels like you're all our target. Whereas this movie doesn't seem to be taking anyone on. It's just a series of jokes. And on occasion, hey, look at the fags.
Yeah, that's what I got too. And another thing, again, in Blazing Saddles, I don't find it as mean-spirited. Yeah, there's the fag joke, so to speak. Not to like use such boorish language, but there's the musical number. Come on, girls, let's get them. But I feel like they cast gay dudes to do that, and I feel like they're in on the joke a little bit. And it's more of a spoof of the Broadway line than of the being like, "Hey, look at the fags."
Again, you know what? Comedy is always, do you trust who's telling you the joke? So intent, you got to know their intent, right? I don't think if I tuned in and heard Mark Maron saying he was voting for Trump, I would know that he was joking. I would know he was being ironic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's no way. And just the way I know that if he were to tell something completely off color, that maybe he's making some further point. So intention counts, but the other thing that really counts is it has to be fucking funny.
That's actually in my notes. In the Rome sequence, I wrote, that's probably the difference is Blazing Saddles, the jokes were funny. When the stunt man gets into the tussle with the dancer and they go behind the thing and come out, he's like, I'm not part by the commissary. And he's got his arm around him. That joke ate, as the kids would say today. That is a solid, hilarious joke. But in this movie, it's just, I'm saying blah, 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 and the fag over here. I'm just like, wait, there's no context. It's mean-spirited. It's not punching up. So, like, I don't...
Because he's already that caricature. He's mincing and lisping and he's so gay. And then like the cherry on top, the little fag gets it. Come on, Mel, calm down.
Mel Brooks couldn't have said twinkle toes. That might have played a little better. I don't know. Also, a lot of the stuff in this picture doesn't play as well. I think he's starting to show his age a little bit. And like his uncoolness, I guess, is starting to show up a little bit. There's a note I have in here about all the old-timey comics in it. Like, I never realized how unfunny so many of them.
Oh, we're talking about Sid Caesar and Shecky Green?
Yeah, and who's the guy with the... and doing that... And it's just, so his whole gag is making fart noises. Really? You were a comedian that had a long career doing that? And Sid Caesar and Soupy Sales? Oh my God. Just these guys are not funny. I guess these are all dudes he worked with when he was coming up. Probably. Your Show of Shows and that type of...
Well, yeah, I mean, very famously, Your Show of Shows was Mel Brooks' first professional writing career, and on the staff was Carl Reiner and Woody Allen and Neil Simon and creator of the Waltons, and it was an insane fucking group of people. So yeah, I think always felt beholden and reverential to Sid Caesar. And Sid Caesar's appearance is okay. The problem is that nothing he's doing is funny. He's given really lame jokes.
What is it? So all those guys are like your Semitic super squad of silliness. Those are your finest. Yeah, the finest comedy writers of his generation. Mel Brooks is probably the funniest. Carl Reiner's pretty piss funny. That Dick Van Dyke Show was pretty good. I used to watch that when I was little on Nick at Night. And Neil Simon, I was a theater kid in high school, so I know Neil Simon. Never really did much for me though.
Yeah, Neil Simon, I really enjoyed in my youth, and I thought it was so clever and witty. And the older I got, I was just like, it's just him talking to him. It's like Kevin Smith. It's just like the description I love of Neil Simon. It's like a woodpecker sitting on either side of your head, just snapping away.
At least Kevin Smith talks about Star Wars, and we say, okay, I've got a cultural reference here. I'm like, weed, okay. And Woody Allen, I like Annie Hall. I love Annie Hall, and that's about it.
That's fair. I like some of the other stuff. We talked about him over on a previous episode of Anthologies Attack New York Stars. You can go back and listen.
That's right, yeah.
Where we spoke a bit about Mr. Allen. Yeah, but of that group of people, I think Mel Brooks is the one. I think he's the one who's honestly had the greatest impact. Like all of those guys have their places in comedy history. And certainly I think everyone else would say Woody Allen. The cognoscenti of the comedic world would probably say that he was a greater impact. But culturally, like, I don't know, Mel Brooks' brand of humor, that silliness, smart silliness, like just, I don't know. You can't overestimate his impact on the world.
Yeah, and Woody Allen, I think, had the bigger initial impact. You know what I mean? With his many, like, Mel Brooks had Oscars as well, so they're both equally critically acclaimed, so to speak. I think the highbrow nature of everybody, oh, Woody Allen, and then years of him being a weirdo and a sinvergüenza, a Cuban saying of a shameless kind of guy, and all his allegations and everything. I think his cultural impact has lessened. Mel Brooks has always just remained relatively in the ether somehow. Like, people revisit his movies and stuff. Like, I just read Josh Gad's putting out The Spaceballs too? Really? Yeah, based on the sequel Star Wars movies a little bit. Yeah, 5 or 6 years a little late, but yeah, he's doing that in the History of the World Part 2.
Spaceballs was also a decade late. That was the problem. If you remember when it came out, it was like, but now?
Yeah, they should have come out in 1982, not 1987 or 88 or whatever. Although I do think Spaceballs is the strongest of his 80s and 90s, his later directing career, for sure. Because I think by the time you get to Robin Hood Men in Tights, man, the jokes are really stale. And there are points in that movie where they tell the joke and the editor waits for the audience to laugh and then makes the cut. And the pacing is just not great.
The 12 Chairs is also a really good movie. It's not on par with the producers Blazing Saddles and Young Frankenstein, but that run right there, producers, 12 Chairs, Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, it's fucking unprecedented, and nothing could live up to it. So,
yeah, no.
And I like silent movie, okay, and I like High Anxiety, okay. I think everything after Young Frankenstein is hit and miss. And I'll agree with you that Spaceballs is probably the most effective of any of it because it's the most streamlined and it has a story to hang all of the gags on.
Yeah, and the gags are good. I think when you're 12, they're better because he made a comedy for his kid.
What's the matter, Colonel Sanders? Chicken doesn't really ring quite as humorous to me now.
Yeah, but I think he made a movie for his kid because his kid's about my age or your age in that neighborhood. And I'm sure he's like, I want to make something my boy can watch. Maybe that's because I think the jokes are funny. And as a Star Wars and Star Trek fan, it's always going to be sweet. It's a sweet spot for me, that movie, but it's still some of it.
I'd say most of it is dated.
Yeah.
But it has John Candy, and you can't go wrong with Mr. John Candy.
And you can't go wrong with Mr. Rick Moore.
Oh, no, not at all. Always great. Yeah, you're right. There's quite a bit to recommend that movie. I'm being hard on it. I should probably revisit it before I open my mouth.
I wonder if they'll be able to coax Rick Moranis out of retirement for that Spaceball scene.
That would be the fucking get of all time, right?
Yeah.
That would be like getting the Emperor back unexpectedly.
Somehow Rick Moranis returned.
Yeah. That'd be pretty great, actually.
That'd actually pretty good.
Oh my God. You know what? If Josh Gad, if you can do that, I'll go see the movie. I will do my best to promote the movie. Okay, let's dive into this movie.
Yeah.
As it is our first segment, our first segment. I'll say about 2 years ago, I attempted to show this to someone who had never seen it before. We got to about the first scene and they were like, is this going to be it? And I said, yeah, pretty much. And they were like, I'm good. And I agreed with them then because it's a Kubrick parody. It's a 2001 parody. Again, a little late for a 2001 parody. This is 1981. That movie's 12 years old by now. But nevertheless, go for it. What we get instead of the moon watcher throwing his bone into the sky, turning into a spaceship, we have all of man becoming erect, figuring out they're erect, and then jerking themselves off.
Yes, my first note on my phone here is jack off Kubrick.
Jack off Kubrick. If it had in any way appeared that any one of those poorly suited men were actually jerking off, I'd give this scene a pass. But it's like watching a bunch of children, like a bunch of 12-year-olds who are being naughty.
Yeah, it's weird. It's not very funny. And I think jack off Kubrick sounds like a Dead Milkman song. But no. and so it brings us to the Stone Age, right? But it's still pretty. Everybody loves that opening of 2001, man. Just if you guys would have watched 2001 and aped the movie a little more and the quality of that movie a little more, that I think the jokes might have played a little better. And you're right, if they were beating it, whatever the hell.
And I'll say this, in 1974, before Kentucky Fried Movie hit the scene, the Groove Tube.
Oh, yeah.
And the last third of the Groove Tube is a 2001 parody, or at least a portion of that movie is this 2001 parody. And it's the ground's been covered.
Is that the movie that has got Bill Murray as the clown in it?
No, that's Quick Change.
No, but like him hosting like a kid show or something like that.
No, it's not Bill Murray, but that is the movie. That's the director actually playing that part. But Chevy Chase is in the movie because Chevy Chase was part of that original comedy troupe.
Is that also the picture where the guy runs into the black neighborhood and screams the N-word?
No, that's Kentucky Fried Movie.
Kentucky Fried Movie.
Yeah, that's something thrill seeker.
Which is the one that ends with the guy getting chased by the titties, jumping off the...
No. That is Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Oh, that's vanilla. That's a lot. That's the thing with the anthology movies, these comedies, they all blend into each other.
Oh, we're all over the anthological landscape, sir.
But
Okay, so
proved,
yeah, we get to the Stone Age, bro.
yeah.
Stone Age it. Okay. We just see the major inventions, the inventions of fire, the invention of art, the invention of weapons, the invention of marriage. Gay joke.
Gay joke. And of course, Orson Welles.
Who evidently was hired for 5 days, was to be paid $5,000 a day, was paid up front, came in, recorded everything in a few hours, and left.
Yeah, I had that note too. Orson Welles remaining the coolest white dude ever. I love Orson so much.
I do too, man. I listened to some of those old outtake tapes of him being petulant and drunk.
Could I have just one more take of that?
Why? I just did it right.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not used to having more than one person in there. One more word out of you and you go. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
I take directions from one person under protest. But from two, I don't sit still. But who the hell are you, anyway?
No, I'm the engineer.
Well, why the hell are you asking me for another one?
Listen, can we just do one last
Yeah.
one? And it was my fault. I said in July. If you can leave every July.
You didn't say it. He said it.
It's every July.
Your friend. Every July?
So after the show.
No, you don't really mean every July.
It is.
But that's bad copy. It's in July. Of course it's every July. There's too much directing around here.
And all I can think is good for you, man. You know what?
Yeah.
You're right. This guy from Bird's Eye Frozen Vegetables is directing. He shouldn't be directing you. He should shut his mouth.
And the poor guy got the shaft his entire career, made the greatest movie of all time, kept making these masterpieces that studios are just burying, stiffing him on, recutting. Like, how do you recut Touch of Evil? Touch of Evil is fucking believable how good that movie is. And yeah, it's got Charlton Heston of the Mexican, and somehow he's like, all right, fine, I'm stuck with this asshole. I'll make it work. And he made it work.
And you know what? Heston worked against it because he doesn't do the fucking accent.
Yeah.
So like he knew he was miscast, but he wanted that movie, and he's the reason Wells got on it in the first place.
Because he wanted to work with Wells, right?
Hired him to rewrite it, and then was like, "Now I think he should direct it. This is his script." So yes, he was basically the one who rammed him through the studio system to get him there. Yeah, it would have been better with a Mexican actor, but fucking there wouldn't be a movie without it.
Yeah, that movie, I know where to go rewatch.
Oh.
But Lady from Shanghai.
Every time you and I fucking talk about Orson Welles, I end up rewatching that flick. Yeah.
Oh, do you really?
Oh yeah, Touch of Evil is just fucking. Look, you can say Citizen Kane is the best movie of all time. You could say it's his best movie. It's not. This Touch of Evil is pure cinema, man. It's just woo. Let's go.
I feel that way about Lady from Shanghai too.
Oh yeah, that's the other one.
Yeah.
That's my other favorite. Just the final sequence alone. Never mind the other preceding 90 or so minutes.
And how many times has that sequence been ripped off?
Over and over. Just like every sequence the man came up with.
Yeah. Bruce Lee at the end of Enter the Dragon, it's that sequence. And The Dark Knight fucking returns. Batman chases the Joker and it's the same fucking sequence. Yeah. He's just doing it. We got to do an Orson Welles podcast.
Evidently.
Yeah. The university had a bunch of, I graduated from UNLV, and it's a really good program now too if you want to study cinema. They had a lot of stuff in their archives. His daughter, Beatrice Wells, lived here for a very long time and had a car dealership.
Did not know that.
Yeah, they sure did. So there is an Orson Welles presence here in Vegas, in history because of her, basically. Yes, the French.
All right. Back to the fucking Stone Age, or we're moving on. I don't know.
Well, before you go from the Stone Age, the one thing that does play in the Stone Age, which is interesting, is that it plays like a Tex Avery cartoon. Exactly like a Tex Avery cartoon. One of the Automobile of the Future or House of the Future sequences where it's like, here the man of the future does the man of the Stone Age discovers fire. And then the guy goes, there's the gag. And there's the gag. And there's the gag. And there's the gag. And it's cool. It goes on too long. And Sid Caesar just isn't funny anymore. But surprisingly buff.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that guy's like 60. He looks pretty good. But yeah, not very funny, though.
Since you brought up Tex Avery, that actually reminds me of The World's First Criminal. He did a short that was about Texas in the Stone Age. And all these cavemen were cowboys and they were riding on dinosaurs. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I haven't seen that cartoon probably since I was 15 or something, but I remember that.
It's all narrated by this guy. He's letting it's this drawling Tex Avery type character who's letting the entire story. And at the end, it shows you at the beginning like modern Dallas, and then this old like stone hewn from the stone jail. And at the end, it goes back there, and the caveman comes to the door and he says, "When y'all gonna let me out of here?" It's like a typical kind of Tex Avery ending.
Yeah.
But now that you've mentioned that, it makes me not like this sequence at all.
Because it's not as funny as something Tex Avery would have done. Yeah. And it's kind of limited, and the gags just aren't very good.
Poor, provocatively poor. But moving on. Oh, to the Old Testament.
And Moses and his evolving accent throughout the movie.
Yeah, it's very Hebrew here. It's very Hebraic.
But he loses it halfway through the scene.
Yeah, and apparently it's a pickup. Like they had this. Now it's just the Stone Age set, and Brooks said he was thinking like we were just going from the Stone Age straight to the Roman Empire. Is there nothing in between? Is there no joke I can make? And knowing he had the set, he was like, "Well, wait, oh, okay, here's one."
That's a funny gag, though. These 10 commandments. See, that's one thing about this movie, though. Yeah, a lot of the jokes are stupid, but so many of the jokes, they're just so timeless and perfect and just so on the ball. Like, they're just, oh man, they're really good.
The other commandments are don't impregnate, don't laugh, don't buy, and don't break.
That's pretty good.
An Easter egg that's as funny as anything else in this movie.
No kidding. Yeah, it's pretty good, man.
All right. Okay, so now that's the Old Testament, basically. What are you gonna do? Carl Reiner as the voice of God there, by the way.
Yeah, I have that note. Is that Carl Reiner? And I think it's a callback to the 2,000-year-old man, to the same interview process.
Yeah, 2,000%.
But the Carl Reiner's delivery as God is just hilarious. Moses, like he's talking to his son.
Exactly. It's perfect. Okay, when we get to Rome, here's a boring autobiographical pause. I was dating a girl in college who did a semester abroad and did it in Rome. I made her a mixtape that began with this Orson Welles narration, Rome, bastion of civilization, Rome. And then leading straight into the columns, get your columns here, get your columns. And then followed immediately by In the Colosseum by Tom Waits. I'm still proud of that mixtape to this day, clearly, even though it's 30 years later.
That is pretty good. That delivery it's like a commercial. Rome.
Oh,
Rome.
It makes the movie grand.
Yeah. That's Orson Welles for you. He made the Transformers grand. Anything grand. He made fish sticks grand.
Like the most putrid wine available suddenly became appealing or not appetizing, not ultimately.
And those jokes were playing to little kids 10, 20 years later on the Animaniacs making, and people still laughing at it. Orson Welles has a great impact. I'm glad people still talk.
Evidently loved Pink's hot dogs.
I am not surprised by that at all.
Not at all either. They're fucking great. Okay, anyway, Rome, this is where we finally get an actual character, someone to follow. This isn't just a sketch. Up to now, it's just been little blackout sketches, effectively, with Wells narrating for us. Here we're getting our first character, Comicus, the stand-up philosopher, played by Mel Brooks, who's on welfare because did you try and bullshit today? No.
The great B. Arthur.
B. Arthur, my God.
Just the queen of deadpan. Nobody more deadpan than that woman. Just so dry, such great, and so tall.
Yeah. Ron Carey, who is a frequent Mel Brooks guy, playing Swiftus, his agent. Little pun on Swifty Lazar. Love it.
Which nobody's gonna get that joke. No, nobody under the age of 40 might get that joke. Swifty Lazar was this legendary Hollywood agent known for being 100,000 years old and having giant.
That character, even though people won't remember his basis, the line he delivers early on has impacted the way I think about this word. If I see somebody refer to something as it being nuts, my mind will immediately fill in afterwards NVTS nuts. Fuck you, Mel Brooks, for writing that line and sticking it in here. God damn it.
This whole opening sequence is just filled with jokes like that, a bunch of little Easter egg jokes. With the Temple of Eros, buffet and orgy, first serve, first come, that's pretty good. And then all the V's everywhere.
And Pat McCormick exhorting the benefits of plumbing. Pump the shit right out of your house.
Now that's an old-timey comedian who's funnier than shit, though. Pat McCormick is a funny, funny dude.
He's funny in this movie.
He's funny in this movie. And and those are really good jokes, too. Like, those are some funny jokes. And then but Soupy Sales, on the other hand, is just like,
where's
isn't he one of the vendors in there?
I know that Charlie Callis is the soothsayer.
Oh, that's Charlie Callis. I get him and Soupy Sales mixed up. Yeah, that guy. Not very funny.
No, but then it seems like you either liked Charlie Callis or you didn't, and I never have. Yeah, he's just a goof. You make funny faces. I get it, but
there's like that one comedian who's just, his whole shtick was just being drunk.
Oof. Yes. His name has been stricken from my memory. Mercy.
Like Forrest, maybe something like that.
Stop it.
But his whole shtick was being drunk, and it was like this.
Oof. Yeah, it's painful. And because it's that vaudeville drunk.
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. and Mrs. Oh, look at that. Look at this young girl.
Somehow Dean Martin played it better, but
Dean Martin played it as a caricature of that character somehow.
And Dean Martin's drunk wasn't so loaded. He was tipsy.
He was tipsy, yeah. And that's funny. Tipsy is funny. That the staggered drunk is not funny. Particularly, you know what? It may have been in a time where we weren't all terrified of alcoholics.
Yeah. And Dean Martin also had the advantage of being a pretty good actor.
Yeah. And he's charming.
Yeah, very charming.
Nothing he was doing in his drunk was that alarming, except for hitting on Adrienne Barbeau. Don't do that, man.
No.
That's only because she's mine.
She's still kicking.
I've met her. her.
Oh, really?
Oh, I told her exactly how much I loved her. Yes.
And I'm sure she was
delighted. In retrospect, how much I told her I loved her.
So fine. Queen of
tiny, my friend.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Like Ruth Bader Ginsburg tiny?
Like to my chest tiny.
Oh, wow.
You and I are about the same height, and she, yeah. It was startling, but still, va-va-va-voom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Those actresses, at least for a few generations, it was really, really, really petite. And all those actors are tiny too, that I imagine.
Stallone was a shock when I met him.
Oh, yeah. My late sister, Jasmine Rester, her biggest crush when she was a kid was Stallone. She's like, oh, the finest man ever. And when she worked at Caesars later, she met him and had a chat with him. And she's like, Tony, he was shorter than me. And I'm like, yeah.
And and here's the thing. When she met him, he was in elevator shoes.
Right.
That's what I came away with. I went, God, he's fucking short. And then it occurred to me, oh, and he's in lifts. Good Lord, he's a tiny man. Obviously, like, I wouldn't want to fight the guy or anything, but
I think in Rocky, they had to say that Thunder Lips was 7 feet tall instead of 6'5" because they wanted to make Rocky 6 feet tall or something like that.
Oh my God, it's so silly. Who cares?
Anyways, back to the Roman Empire.
Oh yeah, Rome. Comicus, the stand-up philosopher, gets the plum of a gig playing Caesar's Palace, and then cut to what was my favorite joke in this movie when I was a kid, and now that I live here, it really is my favorite joke. Where they cut to the chariots rolling up on the real Caesar's Palace here on the Strip.
Yeah, it's the brand new. They had just opened that portion of Caesar's Palace where they looked like Rome. What a great gag! Just a stupid, silly, awesome gag.
Yeah, it's just exactly. It's so simple, so fucking stupid. It makes me laugh every single time I see it.
And it's also we got Gregory Hines showing up too here. Like always liked. You know what movie of his I love is the one with Billy Crystal, that cop movie,
Running Scared. The wildly underrated Running Scared.
What a solid movie with the most two believable cops ever, almost. Oh, look, cops are just regular guys. And there you go. We're two regular guys being so funny. And the only movie where he doesn't do the little sand dance or doesn't do any dancing in it, does he?
He does zero dancing in it.
Yeah, wow.
But he does flip off that one kid, and that's fucking hilarious.
Yes. Oh, what a shame. We lost Gregory Hines too soon. He was a really talented dude and such a delightful actor.
We always end up mentioning the Cotton Club, or at least I do here. But yeah, everyone go back and watch the Cotton Club and watch the genius of, because there you get to see him dramatically and dancing. The same with White Knights, the movie he did with Baryshnikov.
Oh, that's a good movie too. Yeah.
Oof, he was so fucking talented. I love him. And a last minute replacement in this film.
Really? It was supposed to be Richard Pryor?
Part was originally played by Richard Pryor, but he had his accident. His freebasing lit himself on fire accident.
I feel like they were star-crossed lovers, those two. Like, they just can never get it to happen.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, we obviously Richard Pryor co-wrote with Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks Blazing Saddles with the intention of playing the lead, and the studio wouldn't approve him, and they got Cleavon Little instead. And taking nothing away from Cleavon Little, who's fucking great in that movie, but it is one of those could have been moments that Richard Pryor would have starred in that amazingly popular fucking movie. He would have been he was always a big star, but he would have been a fucking superstar at that point.
And Cleavon Little delivers a beautiful performance in that picture. But some of those lines, can you imagine?
The same heart that Cleavon Little gave it.
Yeah, Cleavon Little gave it heart. But some of those line readings, if you imagine Richard Pryor saying that scene with Madeline Kahn, baby, we are not in Havana.
Did we say Madeline Kahn? She's at the palace playing Empress Nympho.
Madeline Kahn.
Madeline Kahn from my hometown of Revere, Massachusetts. Madeline Kahn.
We should all take a moment to revere how amazing an actor Madeline Kahn could do anything. Would upstage anybody. She could sing, she could dance, and was the greatest comic actor of her time. She could just deliver anything, man, and still be fine as hell doing it, and do these voices and these characters, and nobody delivered a monologue like she did. She would find ways to deliver in my head, and it was, come on, man. She was, we got robbed of old lady Madeline Kahn.
Isn't it a drag that she never got like a feature that was all hers?
No, it's a crime. She steals every one of those damn friggin' Mel Brooks movies out from everybody in it.
She could have waltzed onto the cast of Saturday Night Live at any point on that show.
I love her in Young Frankenstein because it shouldn't be that funny of a part. Like she shouldn't have the impact in that picture that she does. But the little bit she's on screen, she's amazing. And she's so charmingly unlikable.
2 scenes in that movie, correct? We get to meet her at the beginning.
And then at the end, right?
And at the end as the bride, right?
Oh, Freddie.
When we first meet her and she's so off-putting, just don't touch me, don't touch this, don't know the hair.
Taffeta, darling.
Oh my God, it's so frustrating and hilarious simultaneously. How do you do that? I guess you have to be Madeline Kahn.
And it helps that you've got Gene Wilder, who gives one of the great comic performances in that movie. I've auditioned with his "Give My Creation Life," live, that one. But at that point in that movie, he's a puppy, and he has an ability to deliver a puppy-like performance in all of his stuff. So innocent and so gentle, and it's just you want him to win. You really rooting for him, even in that movie where he's an arrogant jerk. You still feel so bad for him in that scene. Like no one should ever be saddled with a partner. Fucking him not. And just at the end, she comes around again. So fine. And just, oh my God, with that Bride of Frankenstein and the way she's
yeah, and I'm not taking anything away from her decade later performance in Clue, because that look too.
Yeah.
I'm just being a total pig here. She was super fucking sexy in that movie.
She's the best one in that. And that's a movie of all A-list, out of the park comic performances. She just steals it every time she talks. She is literally a maniac, and you see it in every shot of her inside of her eyes. She is insane. Communicates it so well. I'm so sad that she's gone. I'm thinking, man, can you imagine episodes of Curb Your Enthusiasm? Or can you imagine someone our age having, grown up with her, rediscovering and putting her in a starring vehicle as somebody's mom or grandma, where it's like it sucks. I feel like that about Gilda Radner too, to a certain degree. I like Madeline Kahn a lot. I was always more attached to her, but another comic just ripped from us. Just damn, these just wonderfully funny women just taken away too soon.
Yeah, she's given a musical sequence, which we love from her in Mel Brooks movies, clearly because it was it was so winning in Blazing Saddles, Lily Von Stupp. But what a character there! And again, here, like she's got one or two scenes, and she just fucking commands every single one of them. You can't even really leave her in the back of a frame because your eyes are just drawn there.
I know they horny, funny lady she plays a lot, but even then, she plays each one. She's okay. I've got this kind of cliche character that I'm like, oh, I'm an oversexed woman. Oh, okay. She's still managing. Okay, I've got this stupid background. I am still gonna make a meal out of it, and I am gonna take these crummy ingredients, and I am gonna make a 4-star meal. Like she could just take the little bit and the accents, like really command of her voice. Yeah, I could go on and on. There aren't men as good. Like, you know what I mean? There aren't men actors that can do all of the stuff that she can do. I can't think of like Hugh Jackman, maybe. I don't know, but her, yeah.
No, not in versatility, but in the same sort of genuine, warm feeling I get about a performer that I get with Madeline Kahn, I also get with her scene partner, Mr. Dom DeLuise.
Yes. To quote Tom Hanks as Dean Martin on Saturday Night Live, Mr. Dom DeLuise. Yes, Dom DeLuise. That motherfucker made me laugh a lot. Oh my God. Even on those terrible Cannonball Run movies, which I adored and saw 1,000 times, and he come out in that stupid costume, it's him. Oh, Dom DeLuise.
Yeah, I recently, by recently, I mean maybe a year or two ago, was a guest on a podcast reviewing Cannonball Run. And whatever you pick apart in that movie, and there is a lot.
There's a lot
in that movie. You can't fault Dom DeLuise at any juncture. Everything he's doing is funny. Everything enlightens the scene. I watched it with somebody who was much younger than me and was just like, okay, if you say so. But I still felt the warm glow of the DeLuise sun every time he's on screen. This might be his only performance where I don't like it, but that might be the point of the performance. You know?
Yeah, his performance and his character is so disgusting and so off-putting and so unlikable that I'm assuming it's on purpose.
It absolutely has to. Is this Brooks like one-upping the round the campfire fart scene? Like he's like, we need something scatological here, and we might as well make fun of the emperor because he represents all of the overindulgence and excess of ancient Rome, but we'll just wrap it up into this one guy. And DeLuise is obviously game to do that.
Yeah, he's up for anything for sure. Madeline Kahn's reactions help this scene a lot. This scene has its moments. I do like his stand-up routine. It's pretty funny. The Christians are so poor, they've only got one God. That's pretty.
How do you make a Venetian blind?
What's the joke? What's the punchline?
No, that's it. Like this. Wow.
Well, yeah, right. It's the point. Yeah.
Just jab your fingers out.
But the next scene is funny.
Are we talking about the is he or is he not a eunuch scene?
Yeah, that's a good scene. Although, who's the Mark Antony character that comes in? Who's that actor? Like,
oh, that's Shecky Green.
Shecky Green?
That's Marcus Vindictus. Okay, I lumped him in with some of the earlier like comedy greats, the golden age comedy guys, as being completely unfunny. I think he's funny in this.
He's funny. And you know who else is funny? Is his buddy. Is the extra that's like his lieutenant or whatever. There's a point where the guy where Shecky Green is like gesturing to show the stuff off, and his guy is like aping him, like the extras, and it's hilarious because the look on the guy's face is fucking great.
Yeah, no, all that stuff's real good. But you know, we get the eunuch scene here's our moment for TNA in this movie.
I loved this scene when I was 13, I tell you what.
Oh boy, certainly. Yeah. Seems a bit tame now.
Yeah, very tame and a little long.
Very long. She goes through 3 guards. She does a full dance routine for 3 guards before she gets to Gregory Hines. 1 would have been enough.
Yeah, the tongue gag is.
Yes, of course. Again, Brooks constantly going back to the cartoon realm in this. But anytime you do a cartoon gag in a movie, it just makes me wish I was watching a cartoon.
Yeah, it's hard to pull off. The Three Stooges do it really. The Three Stooges managed to create a live action cartoon, I think, very well. But it's hard to pull off that gag, especially when you start putting the sound effect.
The wacky sound effects are the death of comedy, I'll tell you what. Our heroes basically have to escape the big roly joint thing. That I don't know what's going on there.
Oh, look, the black guy likes weed. Okay.
The black guy likes weed, and the kids today, they like the Cheech and the Chong, don't they?
I feel like Mel Brooks has never done anything more than have a cocktail. I don't think he gets weed humor. And when he does the cocaine, it's a funny joke. And he's like, "Oh, the colors." I'm like, "That's not cocaine." So the eunuch joke too is funny. Was there like a eunuch thing going on in the early '80s? I remember like there's like similar jokes in Ice Pirates. I think it's something else too. Around a lot
It
of
just must have been floating around, and
yeah.
it's the detritus left by the ocean of National Lampoon magazine from the 70s. Suddenly, like a eunuch is just a fucking joke.
Yeah, I guess that must be it. But from there we go. This is a
Go to
long ass
Judea,
scene too.
baby.
Oh, you got to remember we see Moses again
Oh, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
on the Universal tour.
That's right. Oh my God. Yes. And even as a kid, because I'm sure you had seen Universal on television, it was in like every Universal produced sitcom would have a sequence where their kids or their family takes the trip and goes to Universal Studios. We've seen this gag a million times.
Isn't it on the episode of the A-Team too? I mean, like
The A-Team, I remember it on Different Strokes. I remember,
yeah.
just hundreds of shows. Don't put this in the movie, Mel. I mean, it's a good gag. He's
Yeah.
been held up because the gag afterwards, the son of a bitch, you bastard. Ah, these kids today, they don't let you live, they don't let you breathe. Like that has, again, just like NVTS nuts, just banging around in my skull.
Yeah. That's a good gag. That's one of the better gags in the movie. The Moses part, at least. Now, that movie history time, I guess, that gag with the parting waters is from like the silent Ten Commandments, right? And it's a miniature. It was a miniature, is what it was, right?
Well, there was the Silent Ten Commandments that did it, but I think he's probably doing the Cecil B. DeMille, big old Charlton Heston, "Let My People Go" version.
But the actual the device they use.
Oh yeah, it's an effect in both.
But that actual effect that they use is the effect from the. DeMille did both of them.
Yeah, well, the effect at Universal Studios was never used in any of them.
Oh, okay, but the idea was used.
Yeah, and I think I don't even think that it's based on. I don't know if the ride is supposed to be replicating Ten Commandments at all. I think they're just trying to do some cool effect, and they did it. Obviously, I think they needed to get their tram from one side to a lake to another, and somebody went, "I know a way we can do it."
That's fair. I, as a little kid, just assumed it was a.
Oh, I do too, and it probably is. I'm probably speaking or misspeaking here, and there's probably nerds right now going, what?
But now we go to Judea.
Yes, and it's always fucking bizarre to see John Hurt in a Mel Brooks movie, but he does it here and he does it in space. It made more sense for me seeing him in Spaceballs, like, oh, because he has that relationship because he was Jesus.
Yes, but and then of course he's spoofing the alien. So, but his Jesus, I love the scene as a Catholic school kid. This scene slaps. And would you like a beverage? Try the malt wine. I mean, that's
one
I
of
still go.
You betray me. Oh, who will it be? Judas.
It's so good. And the Leonardo coming in and doing the painting. All right, everybody, this is not going to work. Everybody get on the other side of the table. And it's really funny how he just Mel holding the plate with that cheesy ass smile.
The mighty Art Matrano as Leonardo da Vinci. Which, by the way, I love the crazy anachronism of Leonardo da Vinci being at the Last Supper.
Yes, of course. That's he's in Police Academy too, right?
That's
Mauser, right?
That's right. Yowza, yowza.
Mauser. I got no eyebrows.
What are we gonna do about this?
With this hairy ass palms. Oh.
All right. I think the thing everyone remembers from this movie is the next sequence's song.
Yeah, the Inquisition. Here we go. The Inquisition. I screwed up the song, but it's very, very funny.
You're wishing they'd go away, but the Inquisition's here and it's here to stay.
Really good jokes in that song. I mean, that's one of his big strengths. He's really good at them. They play great. This one, it's a long scene, but it's okay. It's really freaking hilarious.
The song is strong enough, and then the video is strong enough. As you said, it's clearly set.
Yeah.
But it is an Esther Williams musical, which always look like sets.
Yeah, they always do like sets. And I feel like they were using some pieces from Young Frankenstein, too, a little.
A lot of the similar, I guarantee you some of that set decoration is castle stuff from...
Yeah. A great number. It's hilarious. But I wanted to ask, was Jackie Mason like a big star or something in the 70s? Or
I would not call him a big star, but
I just feel like he popped up in things when I was a kid, and like he had a sitcom with the British lady, and then on The Simpsons. But
Yeah, and you can't forget his replacing Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack 2.
I was trying to avoid that.
Directed by friend of the podcast, Alan Arkish.
He did Caddyshack too? Wow. What a hard job, man. That must have been.
Yeah. Jackie Mason was a personality. I know. I mean, he was a stand-up, so he was getting play, and I know he was on all the talk shows and everything. So, but I can definitely see Mel Brooks going, well, we need the Jewiest Jew here.
I'm sitting flicking chickens and I'm looking through the pickings, and suddenly these guys break down my balls. I didn't even know them, and they grabbed me by the scrotum and they started playing ping pong with my balls. Oy, the agony. Ooh, the shame. To make my privates public for a game.
That guy is every bad stereotype almost with the voice and hey.
Yeah, well, he made a big fucking career out of that. So
he sure did. God bless him. Immortalized as Krusty the Clown's dad.
Indeed. Yeah, the other tortured Jew in that sequence, Ronnie Graham, who's a regular in the Mel Brooks universe.
Mm-hmm.
You're not to be. He was in Spaceballs. He was the minister in Spaceballs trying to marry them. I wish that the slot machine joke, I wish the dummies hadn't looked quite so dummy. Is that nitpicking?
It's the 80s, 1981. They figure, that nobody's going to be watching this up close on a high definition television 50 years from now or whatever. So
yeah, maybe not. But then again, they went ahead and bothered to put sparklers on top of the nuns, the swimming nuns.
Which I noticed the girl, the main nun has her eyes closed when she comes out.
She does. It's a dead giveaway that's reversed.
Yeah, I know. That's the first time I'd ever noticed it. Like, hey, wait a minute.
Esther Williams wouldn't have done that.
No, neither would Scarlett Johansson.
That's true.
Who did that gag in Hail Caesar?
Got to watch that again, man.
That's a great one. So it gets better. It gets better every time you watch it. The jokes just get funnier and funnier. That Channing Tatum sequence wasn't that funny the first time I saw it. And I was like, this is my life. That Channing Tatum sequence is like a Mel Brooks.
Yes. Modern interpretation. That's okay. Look, you can't talk about anything. I always love that gag. I love the whole song, actually. It's very, very funny. In keeping with Mel Brooks, taking the worst aspects that humanity has ever delivered and turning it on its head and making it something we can ridicule and step back at and take some power back from, because I'm sure nobody was really worried about the Spanish Inquisition circa 1981, but at least we can look back and get some bit of entertainment out of it.
Well, this is a man who's been carrying a comb in his pocket 80 years so he can make Hitler jokes. Like he makes a great point. He's like, you've got to make fun of these people. You've got to make fun of the worst, because that takes, like you said, it takes away their power. It gives it back to you. You've got to make fun of assholes. That's the only way you can get through difficult.
We're in a Mel Brooks universe now. Okay, speaking of the Mel Brooks universe and the universe we're in now, our next segment is about the French Revolution.
Oh boy, count the money for sure.
De Monet. So call back to a joke from, in a different way, the joke of Harvey Korman's Hedley Lamar, which I'm sure is a joke completely lost on anyone watching that movie for the first time now. They're not going to know who Hedy Lamar is. Never mind somebody confusing it with Hedley.
Yeah, I think the best they can do is, wasn't that a joke on Family Guy?
The Count de Monet character apparently was initially to be played by John Cleese.
Oh, no, that would have been interesting.
Due to a scheduling conflict, had to drop out. So Harvey Korman, Mel Brooks' stalwart, dropped in. And he's great here. This is one of his best performances, actually. All of his performances in the Mel Brooks movies sing in a way that I think television didn't allow him.
Yeah, Harvey Korman and Mel Brooks, it's a good pairing. He's a great villain in Blazing Saddles. He's so good in that. He's so hilarious. This one, not so much. He's playing it a little too camp. They're all playing it. They're equating.
Well, that's the thing. He's playing to what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, it just doesn't work. And he's such a good straight man that it's just frustrated straight man. That's what Harvey Korman does best.
No, and this is like the longest sequence, it feels like, even if it's not.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't connect with this. I never really have. It's just Prince and the Pauper set against the French Revolution. So the Garçon de Pisse, the piss boy, looks exactly like the king, and so they swap places. Carrying on from the earlier discussion of Dom DeLuise, that the sort of scatological and gross. This is gross in a whole different way. This one makes me feel gross about sex. It just makes me think it's icky.
Yeah, the hump death, hump, death. Which, of course, when I was a little kid, we were doing all the time. But yeah, I just know it doesn't really play very well. Count de Money is the funniest joke in it.
Don't get saucy with me, Bernays.
Okay, that's pretty. There's a lot of that, and like the end. Okay, here's some social commentary. The poor guys are gonna get executed, and even though Miracle shows up, but the idea. Okay, the rich guy's gonna get away with it, and it doesn't play as good.
That could have been an ending, but then again, let's remember how the French Revolution actually did end.
Yeah, lots of headless people.
Oh man, I love the French. Can I just say that?
The French.
The French.
Orson Welles is so drunk in that clip. It's just
I'll say Spike Milligan shows up here, English comedian, English legend. Who plays a senile character better than anybody. He did it here. He did it again in Yellowbeard. I love him. He's what Charlie Callis is going for in my mind. Because it's silly as fuck, but it's endlessly entertaining.
Yeah.
See Mike Myers taking a lot of his shtick from Spike Milligan. The kind of genial, silly, goofy, oh so British.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I agree. Spike Milligan seems like it's what the Beatles grew and what Mike Myers grew, which is pretty good. He's funny, but like the last thing was.
Oh, it's terrible, and I wish it would end.
Yeah, I love that.
For a history of the world, and I know he tempered it with part one because there's only so much you could do, but this is a 90-minute movie. Jump ahead to something that's guaranteed to fucking make us laugh here for the last part of it.
I feel like the editing you needed, you could have chopped the Rome sequence and this one up a little bit and added a World War II thing or added some cowboys, or that would have. Even Robin Hood you could have fit all the jokes from Robin Hood Men in Tights into a 15-minute sequence in this movie.
Yeah, we jump from Rome to the French Revolution. You can jump again. It's okay. At least get us to the 20th century, Mel.
Yeah, I feel like he just, I ran out of ideas. I ran out of time. It's not one of his more complete pictures, for sure.
Though, whatever bad taste that left in my mouth as a kid, and then again on the rewatch, it's really made up for the teaser trailer for History of the World Part 2.
Yeah, that's actually the funniest. It's just hilarious because it's just gag, gag, gag. And come on, that Hitler on Ice is hilarious. Which they pay off on this.
Oh, okay.
Barinholtz.
And the Viking funeral is just a one-panel joke. Got it. But then Jews in Space has the benefit of being very well made. Those are really great, man.
It's a fun, like a minute-long short, yeah.
It's just a bunch of Stars of David, right? Ha ha. Those ships are awesome.
And the two guys dancing at the end when that's.
I do know that the spaceships, they do say kosher on them.
That's pretty. It's an interesting thing because that sequence gives you a perspective that you hadn't seen in sci-fi movies up at that point. The window where the guys are watching what's going on. Like they never. I think the Star Trek the Motion Picture has that little the shuttle where you saw Kirk flying in the window and stuff, but that's about it. So it's like a pretty neat effect to see that composited on a model in 1981 because they didn't do it really in Empire or Star Wars or Battlestar or Buck Rogers or anything around that time.
I did notice the TIE fighter sound effect in there.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, when Spaceballs came out, Lucas was the one like extolling its virtues more than anybody.
Yeah.
So I'm sure here there must have been somebody at 20th Century Fox who said we can make some money by suing them for using that effect. That's ours.
Right.
I'm hoping that happened and that Lucas shut it down. But
well, when it came to Spaceballs, Lucas is like, do whatever you want, just don't make any toys.
The visual effects were by Albert Whitlock.
What did Albert Whitlock work on?
Albert Whitlock did John Carpenter's The Thing.
Ah, there you go. That opening, that great opening.
Yeah, I mean, he is best known as a matte painter. Albert Whitlock is.
Did he do the title on The Thing?
He sure did. Yeah. So yeah, it made sense. He was there, and they're like, "Hey, would you mind doing this for us?"
It's really well done.
But that brings us to the end of history. It all ended here.
It all ended here.
The Jews in space. It ended in the future. Our history. At least
Jews in space. Wait, that's
basically what he does as the narrator here. Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks replacing Orson Welles.
Which
is a missed opportunity, by the way.
Yeah.
It must have been they added it way later, and they're like, we're never gonna get him back.
Not for less than $5,000.
Right.
There is one funny joke on the TV show. There's a sequence about Jesus And you know how they show the title at the beginning of each sequence, and he reads them. Mel Brooks reads the titles. So when it says Jesus Christ, he goes, Jesus Christ! And then it cuts to the story about
That's great.
Mel Brooks is 100 years old. He shot Nazis. He had the hottest wife ever. And he made some of the funniest movies of all time. I mean, I just love the guy. I'm so grateful that I've had him in my life, so to speak. And his kid wrote a book called World War Z. If you've never read it, it's pretty good. The audio drama for World War Z is spectacular. And the movie's terrible.
The movie is god awful. How did it come out of that book? What? Huh? What? That book is as responsible as 28 Days Later for the trend of zombies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Planted all of the seeds. Look, they all stole it from Romero, folks. But yeah, that book is great. I love Max Brooks. And you know what? If Mel Brooks made Spaceballs to entertain that kid, and then he turned around and wrote that book, if he had added anything to that kid's psyche to do that, then God bless that movie.
Can you imagine what a fun childhood you would have had? Mel Brooks as your dad.
I'm sure there were trials because every father-son relationship had.
Yeah.
But fuck, man, at the end of the day, it's Mel Brooks.
Well, the funny thing is look how he rebelled. He rebelled by going to write zombie books and being a history professor at Harvard.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. We could all hope our children rebel in such a manner.
Well, thank you, Father Malone, for a wonderful time today. I was really happy to talk about such a funny movie and such trying times we live in. We've got the funny of Mel Brooks to remind us to laugh, to punch up, make fun of the jerks in power, I guess.
Indeed. I don't know that I would recommend the movie overall, but as a completist, you fucking have to see it.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you need a laugh, and we all goddamn do, check it out. There are some actual genuine fucking laughs in this movie.
Yeah, there's some cringe moments. Absolutely.
Oh, there are a ton. There are a ton of them. Get ready to cringe a lot, but I'll get ready to laugh a lot too. And know that ultimately that guy's heart is in the right place. The cringy stuff is cringy, and as mean-spirited as it seems in overall, I think that's just more of the time period and Brooks competing in an arena he had no business competing in.
I think that's a very, very honest and astute observation there.
Well, thank you. Well, until we talk next time, Antonio, where can people find you?
Hey, you can follow me at Swamp Media Group on Instagram, and you can check out our website at swamp.com.
As for me, you can check me out at fathermalone71@gmail.com if you want to fucking drop a line. And otherwise, check out Midnight Viewing overall at the Weirding Way Media group there. And also, if you want to go to patreon.com/fathermalone, you're going to get these episodes early and commercial free, and you'll get our bonus shows like Cable Box Theater, where HP from Noise Junkies and I drive ourselves totally fucking insane by watching videotape Broadway performances that were originally aired on Showtime and HBO in the late 70s when they didn't have any other thing to put on the air. There's something, folks. Make sure you tune in a week from today, where we're returning with Tales from the Dark Side Season 3. We're going to be doing episodes 3 and 4 of that. There's one more thing I wanted to plug. Fuck. Oh, well. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Midnight Viewing things still don't have a closer. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
The Inquisition, what a show. The Inquisition, here we go. We know you're wishing that we'd go away. So come on, you Muslims and you Jews. We got big news for all of you. You better change your point of views today. 'Cause the Inquisition's here, and it's here to stay.
Hello, this is Chris Haskell from They Live by Film. For those that don't know us, Adam, Zach, and we built a podcast over the last 2 years that's a combination of film discussion from 3 very different perspectives, as well as industry interviews with the leaders in boutique Blu-ray and 4K community. We started with Deaf Crocodile, but over time we've been lucky enough to speak with Arrow Video, Severin, Mondo Macabro, Vinegar Syndrome, Radiance, Indicator, most of the OCN partner labels. It's been a blast. You can find us wherever you podcast, and also actually recently as part of Someone's Favorite Production Podcast Network. We hope to see you online.
Hello, this is Aaron West. I am the author of the A24 New Wave. In this book, I look at A24's output and I make the argument that we are in a new wave movement right now. A24 plays a major role. This book has a supplemental podcast where each episode is a brief conversation about an A24 related topic, whether an actor, director, or even a genre. As I continue research for the book and conduct interviews, I expect to record podcast episodes with people involved with the company. You can find the podcast at cinejourneys.com or wherever you find podcasts, and we are proud to be members of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.